I moved back to my grandfather's old ranch a few months ago after retiring from the military. The ranch had been in our family for generations. Sprawling land, a couple of barns, some cattle, and most notably, a wide pond nestled beneath a hill where the oaks gave good shade. That pond wasn't for swimming or fishing. It had been repurposed during my service as part of a classified military testing agreement. Let's just say the water wasn't ordinary anymore. But I never imagined that a nosy HOA Karen from the edge of town would try to get involved in something so far above her pay grade. Asterisk. It started one bright Saturday morning. I was out by the barn fixing up one of the old ATVs when I noticed a white SUV parked just outside the ranch's private gate. A woman in her late 50s stood with a clipboard, sunglasses perched dramatically atop her head, snapping photos through the fence like she was with the FBI. She looked out of place, dressed like she was headed to a golf club rather than a ranch on the outskirts of town. I approached her slowly, wiping grease off my hands. "Can I help you, ma'am?" I asked. She turned with a smug look. "Yes, I'm Karen, president of the Willow Creek HOA. We've had several complaints about an unauthorized private swimming pool. We believe it's non-compliant with local zoning and community aesthetics." I chuckled, assuming she was mistaking. "The cattle trough? Or maybe even the roof of the barn for a pool?" "Swimming pool?" I said, confused. "Lady, this is a working ranch. We don't do tanning chairs and floaties out here." She pointed dramatically over the fence, that body of water behind the fence. "It's been landscaped, hasn't it? People saw men in camo with equipment there last week. Doesn't fit the rural character. And it's within visibility of 3 HOA-managed homes. I'm reporting it." What she had seen were members of a government survey crew in uniformed men. I'd known for years testing sensors and equipment that were submerged in the pond as part of a military program. I couldn't say more due to the NDA I had signed. The pond wasn't some backyard hangout spot. It was part of an experimental surveillance system meant for training and tech calibration. Listen, that's no pool. And this ranch is on private land, well outside your HOA jurisdiction? Don't have any authority here. Karen's eyes narrowed. We'll see about that. Later that afternoon, 2 sheriff's deputies rolled onto the property. One I recognized, Deputy Harris. The other was new. Karen trailed them in her SUV, wearing a grin like she had just taken down a drug cartel. Sorry about this, Tom, Harris said as he stepped out. "We got a report of an unpermitted structure, possible health code violation involving standing water." Standing water? I asked, incredulous. "That's a natural pond." Karen piped in, waving her clipboard. "It has pumps, hoses, and what appears to be artificial aeration. That's a pool. It's a safety hazard and a breeding ground for mosquitoes. To mention it's an eyesore." I walked them over to the pond. From a distance, it might have looked odd. There were motion sensors hidden under lily pads, solar-powered buoys transmitting encrypted data, and what looked like tiny floating cameras. But every piece of tech there was authorized, monitored, and owned by the Department of Defense. Karen, I said, turning to her with a calm but firm tone. "I'm going to say this once. That pond is not under your HOA's jurisdiction. It's part of a federal testing program, and your unauthorized photography and reporting could be considered interference." Karen laughed. "Karen, oh please. This is just you trying to act important. What are you going to call the military on me?" At that moment, as if on cue, a blacked-out government SUV pulled onto the property. A pair of plainclothes agents stepped out, followed by a man in uniform, Colonel Davis, my former commanding officer. He'd come for a routine review of the test site. Karen's face drained of color. Colonel Davis walked up to us, gave me a nod, then turned to Karen. "Ma'am, we've been informed there may be civilian interference with a restricted federal test site. I'll need to ask you to leave this property immediately. Any further interference could result in a formal investigation." Karen tried to recover. I didn't know. No one told me this isn't marked as government property. The colonel didn't flinch. That's by design. And you're trespassing. She stammered a bit, then turned and made a shaky walk back to her car. The deputies gave me a knowing look. Deputy Harris gave a small shrug. Guess you'll think twice next time. Asterisk over the next few days. Word got around. Karen didn't show up for the next HOA meeting. She'd apparently gone quiet after a visit from federal officials, warning her not to disclose or interfere further. Meanwhile, I got a formal letter from the Department of Defense thanking me for handling the situation discreetly. Asterisk, the town buzzed with rumors. Some folks thought I was running a secret underwater drone program. Others believed the pond was booby-trapped. Kids started daring each other to get close to the ranch gates, just to see what would happen. I didn't correct them. Weeks passed. Karen sold her house and moved to a quieter neighborhood one, where she presumably wouldn't accidentally mess with military property. The HOA, for its part, quietly removed any references to pond compliance from their community handbook. Asterisk, as for me, I kept doing what I always did, dranching by day, running quiet tests at night with the DoD team. The pond remained undisturbed, except for the occasional frog or government drone. Asterisk, the lesson was simple. If you come poking around places you don't belong, you might find out you're in way over your head, especially when the pool you're complaining about isn't just for swimming, it's watching back. Asterisk, and in Karen's case, she learned the hard way that not everything in life fits neatly into HOA guidelines. Asterisk.